Yo! Welcome to the show, BroMob. We're your hosts, Chad and Zach. Bryan is invisible and nowhere to be found, and a bum. Welcome to not being on the show, Bryan, but welcome to the show, Better Zach.
Thank you. That intro music had me a little spooked, but you know, we're good.
Oh, yeah. It's spooky time here in Brotober. Real frightening.
But yeah, if Bryan's really invisible and in my house, you can get on out.
Oh, yeah. He is really creepy like that.
Yeah.
He would actually go into your home and just kind of lurk. You know, alas, he's just not here. I just use alas.
I like that word. It's underused, I feel like. Alas is a great word.
Alas. What am I telling, a story?
Alas.
In a storybook? But alas, the night didn't show.
It is time for scary stories.
It really is. It is spooky season. It is Halloween season. And it's gonna be good. We get a good show. A lot of spookiness for you.
Some would call it a scary good show. Not good to start. All right, here we go.
All right. Off to a great start. BroMob, if you're listening to us, it's October 28th. We have Arizona, Washington, Jacksonville, and Houston on bye this week. So make sure to get those players out. Be sure to follow along after the show by following us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Bros Podcast. Check out our TikTok page at Fantasy Football Bros. And just, check out our website, thefantasyfootballbros.com, for all kinds of news, articles, so much more. Zach, let's get into our spooky top 3 stories of the week. Yes, it's just creepy sounds. Started off with it. I'm gonna keep your frightness away here, Zach. I don't need everybody hearing housekeeping for. Nick Foles came out and said that Matt Nagy has been calling plays that he knows for a fact won't be working because their offensive line is just terrible. Some other issues there. So it's sounding like Nick Foles, who's been there for less than a year, understands the playbook better than Matt Nagy, who wrote the playbook. And BroMob, this analysis that I'm pulling from this is that the Bears offense is terrible and you need to move on from all of the players right now. Zach, I don't know if you agree, but I'm literally meaning Allen Robinson. I'm gone. I'm done with them. I'm not touching them no more. David Montgomery, I'm done with them. Nick Foles, if you were streaming him, bad choices there, really bad choices. But I'm not doing that anymore. Jimmy Graham, done with them. I don't like any of them.
No, and 2020 is weird like this, where teams are kind of coming out against their coaches. We saw it in Dallas with players calling out Mike McCarthy anonymously. Now this with the Bears. It's really weird. I don't know if I'm completely off of all the Bears players. I mean, Allen Robinson as a target monster can probably still produce a bit for you, but at the same time, with all that tumult in the clubhouse, is that what it's called in football, clubhouse? I don't even know. I'm baseball boy here, so I don't know.
I was going to say, are we talking soccer? That's all the clubhouse too.
Whatever, with all the adversity in that. All that adversity on that team, it's probably a good idea to try to sell some guys before it gets worse, or just get out on them.
Yeah, it's pretty much hit the worst.
Yeah,
it might be selling low, but at least you're done with them. You don't got to deal with the headaches anymore. So I'm off.
And they're still 5-2, which is what I don't get. Like,
I don't understand it. It's the worst 5-2 team I've ever seen.
Yeah, seriously,
awful. We got some Bears fans in our friend group here. It's hard watching them talk about the team because they just talk terribly about them. And I'm like, they're 5-2. I mean, they're doing something right.
Yeah, the Cowboys fan and the Vikings fan here are like, hey, take it easy with the comments about your guys' being bad.
All of it. Yeah. Give me those wins. Especially against teams like the Buccaneers. I mean, they beat the Buccaneers and nobody else really impressive after that. But still, I mean, I don't care.
Right, yeah.
I think wins. Speaking of the Buccaneers, Zach, hot topic. The store. Spooky stuff in the store. Lots of blackness. Lots of weird toys in the back. We're not going to talk about those. But the Buccaneers, hot topic here, have signed Antonio Brown. The Mercurial wide receiver is back. He should be back after this week. His suspension ends after this week officially. And I'm going to say it. It's officially time to shop Mike Evans. I can't even speak right now. Move on from Mike Evans. I'm done with him. It's all downhill from here. He was already seeing target share go down with Chris Godwin there. I understand he just got injured again. He should be out this week. Mike Evans, this is a perfect opportunity for Mike Evans to have a good game and for you to use that as leverage to trade him. It's time to do it.
I 100% agree with that. In the 4 games that Chris Godwin has been healthy, Evans has seen 3 targets per game. And I think it was something like 6 receptions total over that 4-game span. I don't know what it is, if he just doesn't have a good connection with Brady, or if that's not Brady's game anymore, is hitting a player like Evans. But yeah, I'm on board to get rid of him. Maybe hold on to him this week since Godwin is going to be out. Hey, play that train. In the weeks that Godwin was out, Evans was great for the most part. I think he had maybe 1 subpar week without him. But yeah, after this week, maybe cut ties.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he's not a bad receiver. I mean, no, a guy who's 1,000 yards receiving every single season until this year. He's on pace for less than 700 now, I think. But I mean,
I actually love Mike Evans. I think he is a hell of a receiver, a very, very good NFL receiver. It's kind of in the same boat as Keenan Allen for me, who really put it to me because I did not like him to start the year, and now he's having an awesome year. But very, very good NFL receivers. It's just my fantasy take on them isn't the greatest.
Oh, yeah, very true.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to our third story here, Kenyon Drake down with an injury this past week, and Zach, I'm gonna say, I mean, they have a bye. He could come back healthy after the bye, but I'm gonna say it right now. Even if he comes back from the bye, Chase Edmonds is the running back to have on your fantasy roster moving forward. I mean, he's getting used in the passing game. He's starting to get more and more of the actual carry shares out of this offense. He's more efficient with those carries. He looks good in the passing game. He looks like the better all-around running back than Kenyon Drake was, who was extremely inefficient with his carries. I think he was somewhere in the 3s for yards per carry over the season. I know he's one of the league leaders. What is going on here? How do you say these words?
Leaguers.
Yeah, league leaders. That's the words. Give me a liter of cola. He's one of the league leaders in rushing yards, but it's only because this team, it's hard to predict who's going to be running when you got Kyler Murray in the backfield, he leads the league literally in yards per carry. Throughout the for every single runner in the league, he leads the league in yards per carry. So I like Chase Edmonds moving forward.
I didn't know that Kyler was the league leader in yards per carry. He is a shifty dude like that. He's so quick. It's unreal. But we texted on Sunday after watching the Cardinals game. Chase Edmonds, I think, is better than Kenyon Drake. He's a very, very good running back. If you're in a deep league, and Edmonds shouldn't be on the waiver wire, but if he is, you need to get him. But Benjamin might be a good one to add. Their rookie running back they got this year. He's a rookie, right?
Yep, he's a rookie.
Yeah. He might be a good one to add just in case they don't give the full workload to Edmonds. But Edmonds is gonna tear it up here.
Yeah, it's time for him to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking what I'm seeing there. All right, BroMob, let's get right into our Week 8 loves and hates.
Love and hate.
There's that scary laugh you were talking about. All right.
I'm telling you, be prepared. As they say in The Lion King. Zach, since Bryan's done on the show, we're going to start it off with his loves and hates, which are just, I was talking to you before. They're all terrible.
Yeah, I see that.
there's not a good one in here. And if there is a good one, it's like a no-brainer. So yeah, I'm just gonna start it off with Brian's love for quarterbacks.
Love.
Aaron Rodgers against Minnesota. And the biggest thing I want to say is duh. I mean, this is a guy who's a top 5 quarterback for the season, basically. And he's going against a 30 or worse ranked defense in the passing game. So what is he looking for here?
I have no clue. It's a team that just traded away debatably their best defensive asset to an unique Ngakoue. They're not going to have any pass rush. Their pass defense was already really bad to begin with. Rodgers is going to eat them alive. And again, Vikings fan, I'm very willing to say that he is going to destroy them.
Yep. Kudos on pronunciation for that name.
Thank you.
It's a very hard one. Commentators for games routinely get it wrong, so that it's nice to hear it very accurate.
Thanks.
Hate.
Lamar Jackson, which what? I don't think I'm ever gonna hate Lamar Jackson. I get it. It's Pittsburgh. They're good, but that means he's going to have to be good. And I see him rushing a lot in this game, having to keep his game in it, keep his team in it. At least a rushing touchdown on the ground. Brian, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, and I don't think Lamar's passing has been too great this year so far. And Pittsburgh pass defense is about the place that you probably could beat them. Their rush defense is incredible. But same as you're never going to find me betting against Lamar Jackson. Just let the guy do his work. He'll do fine against the Steelers.
Yep. I think Brian's trying to make up for a terrible week he had last week. In which he probably only had about one good name that he picked. So the Aaron Rodgers, I get, he's trying to boost up his percentages. But Lamar Jackson's a bad choice there, Brian. Let's get into my loves and hates, which are way better looking, smarter, just all around better.
Love.
Carson Wentz. And I started off with that terrible name. Carson Wentz going against Dallas, who is the crapshoot of the NFL right now. They can't do anything right offensively, defensively. They can't keep a person healthy. People that are healthy, they're trading away. None of it makes sense. And now they got Ben DiNucci throwing spaghetti and meatballs all over the place. And Carson Wentz is going to be on the field a lot because of that. And I love everything about it. I don't care if he has no one to throw to, if he has anybody to hand the ball off to. He's still putting up top 10 quarterback points every week. I think he's number 7 quarterback on the season right now, which is fascinating because he's not good. He hasn't been good. But I like him for fantasy. And matter of fact, I love him.
Hate.
Matt Ryan. Absolutely hate Matt Ryan going against Carolina. And look, if it was last year, it'd sound different, right? Because Carolina was terrible last year. This defense has turned it around quite quick. And they've actually been one of the better defenses against the pass in the league. They run the most, I believe it's the heaviest zone read defense in the league. So they have the most zone coverages out there. And they're one of the best zone coverage defenses in the league right now because of it. They're sticking to a scheme and they're excelling at it. And Matt Ryan has just been the epitome of hit or miss this season. And I get it. He has Julio Jones back. With Julio Jones back, last game he erupted with Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones there. But I don't know. I don't want any part of Matt Ryan, to be honest, especially against Carolina, who's been decent.
I'm curious to see how that matchup plays out. I think Matt Ryan has done okay. He's a league leader in passing yards right now.
That's a crazy thing.
Yeah, right. And you're right that Carolina's defense has. I thought they were going to be absolutely terrible to start the year, like the worst. Turns out it's a team a little bit closer to home. But yeah, I'm curious to see if Matt Ryan does turn up a good game. I like to think he will because I'm a Matt Ryan truther, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm gonna stay on the side of hate. You haven't persuaded me. I don't know how a defense gets better when they lose Luke Kuechly in the offseason. That's the biggest.
No clue.
Anyway, Zach, who do you love?
Love.
I love, and I did not think I would say this because I grew to hate him last year. Baker Mayfield this week against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders haven't really shown up too much on defense. They've stayed in games, but they've given up a lot of fantasy points. And Baker is coming off a huge game last week against the Bengals. I'm wanting to stay in the flames and keep riding that. He did just lose OBJ, and I don't think Chubb will be back this week if I saw right. But he's established a pretty clear connection with Rashard Higgins, dating back to last year. Landry's still there. And Harrison Bryant last week. What? Where did he come from? What? Awesome. Yeah, right. Big old rookie tight end. But yeah, I'd keep Ryan Baker this week. I think he's going to have a pretty good game.
Hate.
And my hate, this one hurts me because the last time I was on here, I liked him for the rest of the season. Cam Newton against Buffalo. Oh, how things change in a couple of weeks' time. Right. Cam has looked really bad the last couple of weeks that he's played. COVID Cam, maybe. Maybe he's got a little bit of repercussions going on there. Who knows? He looked fine right away, but yeah, he has not looked great. Billy says that he's going to remain the starter, and Buffalo's defense hasn't been that great actually this year, but until Cam does it again, I killed him, Billy. We're tight, so yeah, I got him on speed dial. Is speed dial a thing anymore? I don't think it is.
No.
Well, my house phone has him on speed dial.
Okay.
Who has a house phone anymore either?
Yeah,
no, I'm just. Yeah, but stay away from Cam.
All right. Good advice. Back to the bad advice. Bryan, what are you doing with your running backs? I guess we'll just get right into it.
Love.
Todd Gurley? I mean, does he not look at what happened this year? Carolina's good. Their defense is good. Even their rushing defense, which I understand they were the worst in the league last year, but they're not that this year. I mean, they're not Dallas. Like, they're not what Dallas is right now. So Todd Gurley, I get it. He's been doing good. He gets touchdowns when he's not supposed to get touchdowns, and loses his team the game typically. But he's not. I'm not a big proponent of Todd Gurley this week. Maybe he has a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's eaten the chip already. I don't know, but I'm not feeling Todd Gurley.
No, I'm with you. He's dating back to last year. He's been super, super touchdown dependent. And when he gets in the end zone, he has a great week usually, or shouldn't say great, a serviceable week. But that's a big if. And you're right. We talked about it already. Carolina is, or has been, a pretty good defense this year. I'm not sold on him this week.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's get into hates.
Hate.
Only one I agree with, Bryan. Stephen Montgomery. We just talked about the Bears and hating them. I don't want to like it because it's from you, Bryan. But Montgomery against New Orleans, this is tough. It's a tough defense that's been they've been hit or miss defensively, to be honest, allowing some big plays over the weeks. But I just don't see David Montgomery, who hasn't shown any explosiveness. He hasn't shown a knack like he has in his previous season, a knack to actually break tackles. So it's been a rough season for Montgomery, and the offensive line has been atrocious. It's been a decline from what we saw last year with the offense. So Montgomery, I'm not liking it. I actually agree with you, Bryan. Zach, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement here. I really wanted to like Montgomery coming into the year because I thought he was a talented back out of college, but man, it has not played out in the NFL for him so far. And I was hoping that volume would trump all that too, but So far, it really hasn't. He's had, again, serviceable weeks because he usually finds a way to have 6 or 7 receptions every week. But why? Well, Tariq's out, I guess, so that kind of adds on to it. Yep. But, we said it earlier, stay away from the Bears for the most part.
Yeah, the fact that he's not doing any better and the person behind him is Cordero Patterson.
Yes.
Makes no sense to me.
Yep.
Love.
Kareem Hunt from me, Chad, the smart brother. Kareem Hunt against Las Vegas. Look, I think he's going to have the running back 1 week. Like, it's not, I understand this is one of those no-brainer, like, say, I'm going to start Kareem Hunt. Of course you are. But I think he's going to have the best week of all the running backs.
So running back one.
Yeah. I think it's going to be great. So if you're looking at DFS right now, right? Kareem Hunt is the guy that I'm spending the DFS money on to put into my roster because I think he's going to have the best of everybody, not Derrick Henry, not Aaron Jones, not anybody. So I think I like what I'm seeing there. He should get a lot of usage, especially with OBJ being out. He's going to get probably used more in the passing game, like he should be. And I like what I'm seeing there. I like Kareem Hunt. Hate me for it.
I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to hate you for that. I think he is like the second or third most expensive running back on DraftKings right now. But you're right that he's the best playmaker on that team right now for sure. And they're just going to feed him the ball, I think. Roll with him for sure.
Oh, yeah. Just like the team will.
Yes.
Hate.
Not liking Mr. James Conner, looking for Sarah Conner, not finding Sarah Conner, going back home to eat chips. What? James Conner against Baltimore. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah, no.
One against Baltimore. It's the best rushing defense in the league. They're incredible. They're not letting anybody run against them. It's pretty much as tough as Pittsburgh. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want anything to do with any running back that goes against this defense. I guess there's probably an even worse defense. That'd be Tampa Bay. If there's a running back going against Tampa Bay who holds players like Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs to running in only the teens for yards, I'm not starting anybody against them, but I'm also not starting anybody against Baltimore, even if that somebody is James Conner, who has actually been a decent running back 2 this year. He was like a solid running back 2. I shouldn't say decent, solid. Putting up a couple running back 1 weeks throughout the season and then just teens, very consistent. I'm just not looking forward to him against Baltimore, who doesn't let anybody run against them. So I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, I've been playing a game this year to not start anybody against Baltimore as much as I possibly can. They are ridiculous on defense, and they're getting better. It's try to not start anybody against them. They are very, very, very good. And I don't care that Pittsburgh's offense has looked really good and James Conner has looked pretty good too. I'm trying to avoid all matchups against them.
Yeah, and considering they just added Nyakwe to that defense, like it's dunzo.
Yeah.
What are you giggling? What are you giggling about?
You were telling me how I pronounce it very well earlier, and then I think you kind of messed it up a little bit, but it's a tough name.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I tried to do it as best as I could.
Who's the tight end in Denver behind Noah Fant? The rookie they got?
Oh, I can't pronounce that.
Not a chance. No, that's one name I definitely can't pronounce either. Albert O. Something.
Yeah. Albert O.
Yes, leave it at that. My love for running backs this week is our boy JT, Jonathan Taylor, not Justin, against Detroit Lions. Detroit's been not great on defense, which is I'm gonna look like a hypocrite later, but we'll get into that when we get there. But JT, he hasn't really shown out as some people thought he would when Marlon Mack went out, but he's still I think he's still a pretty solid RB2, like in the middle of the pack of the RB2s right now, in the low teens every week, basically. I think he's going to do great here. Just let him eat against the Lions.
Yeah. I mean, despite having a terrible rushing defense, the Lions at least have been decent in the passing game. So I'll give you a little bit of slack around the show.
Hate.
This is my hot one here. My hate for the week is Zeke against the Eagles. If you would ask, yeah, yes, Alan, yes. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if I would have ever had Zeke in my hate column, I would have said, hell no. He's staying in the love or at least likes. But that offense looks so bad. And the quarterback that you brought up earlier, Ben DiNucci. My accents are terrible, man. He's not going to make it. Yeah.
It helps.
I think it sounded more vampire-ish there. Just blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I don't like Zeke. DiNucci doesn't help that offense any more than Andy Dalton did, and the Eagles have historically had a pretty good rush defense. I think they're still good this year, if I remember right. And Zeke he was bottled up last week. I'm not looking. He's one of those guys that you drafted him in the first round, so you're probably going to have to keep him in your lineup. But if you have other options that you can get away with not starting him, go with those.
Here's the reality. Zeke is now like a running back 2, because it's not just the fact that they're to Ben DiNucci at a quarterback, but also that their entire offensive line is injured. Like Tyron Smith gone, La'el Collins gone, Zach Martin gone. Mm-hmm. We lost Travis at the beginning of the season because he retired out of nowhere. So this whole offensive line is just disappearing. And so not only is there inefficient quarterback play, but there's inefficient offensive line play, and it's killing Zeke. It's getting in his head. You can tell he's making a lot of mental errors. And it's not looking good. And you're right about Philly. They're a top 10 rushing defense this year. Once again, pretty much every year they are. So
we saw it last week too. Pollard was getting a lot of work last week. A lot more than I thought he was going to get. I think he's significantly better than Zeke is in the pass game, and that's where they're going to need him. Probably being down in most cases from now on. So yeah, I'd try to stay away from him if possible.
Yeah, if Zeke could play quarterback, it'd be a different story. Like maybe run, throw. Yeah, I would feel good about that.
Permanent Wildcat.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cereal eating contest. Definitely going to win that.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't like much more from Zeke.
Food eating contest at quarterback.
Yep. That's it. Let's get into the wide receivers.
Love.
From Bryan. Oh, Bryan. Just constantly doing terrible things.
Throwing out trash.
He's so bad at everything he does. All the players he's picking are terrible. This one's okay. I'll give him an okay for this one. Travis Fulgham against Dallas. For every reason we've said before, Dallas is the crap. They are the crapshoot of the NFL. They're terrible all around. I'm a Dallas fan, and I'm not happy to say it. Like I'm thinking about becoming even worse, a Dolphins fan. I'm gonna become a Dolphins fan because Tua's coming down, and I'm getting real hyped. I'm getting hyped about Tua. I'm gonna hop on the Tua train, and I'm gonna ride it along. I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of Dolphins gear. I'm gonna look good. That being said, Dallas is terrible. Fulgham's going to do great. So, Bryan, you get an okay on this one. I'm going to give you a big solid thumbs middle. A big thumbs middle for this one. Congratulations. You didn't get pure hatred from me.
Hate.
Devonte Parker. I cut you off, Zach. If you want to talk about Travis Fulgham, my bad.
No, you said it. Jalen Reagor might be back this week. Who knows? But I think Fulgham's been crazy awesome. So I kind of like that call by Bryan.
Yeah, double-digit targets in 3 weeks in a row. So there's nobody else unless if Reagor comes back. If Reagor comes back, then it's a different story. Reagor might be an absolute rigged monstersaurus Rex to go against Dallas. We'll see what happens. But Fulgham, I still think he gets his.
Hate.
Devonte Parker against the Rams. I understand this one from the fact that Devonte Parker is going to get the Jalen Ramsey treatment. And what we don't understand, what we're not talking about is that during the Rams-Bears game, Jalen Ramsey had his plays, right? I mean, he looked good. I think he came away with an interception against a poor route that was ran by DK Metcalf. DK should have kept going. He could have out-jumped him. It would have been a touchdown all day long. But the problem is, if you watched the actual game, Jalen Ramsey was routinely getting beat deep by faster receivers that were just getting past him. And Devonte Parker kind of excels at the deep game. I'll be honest. He's a 50-50 ball specialist, and he goes deep, and he out-jumps anybody that's out there. If Devonte Parker can just get one play, that's all it's going to take for me. And I think that's all it needs, because Tua is the type of guy that can hit a guy deep accurately. I think the problem is going to be him running around and trying to get away from Aaron Donald for most of the game, but that's besides the point. Tua can get one pass deep, and I think he can, Devonte Parker, and it's instantly becoming a good game. I understand the hatred here, but I don't think he's going to have a bad game. I think Parker gets a lot of targets in this. Maybe it's not very efficient with those targets. Maybe he only gets 4 catches out of 11 targets or 5 catches out of 11 targets, but I bet one of those targets are going to be for 50 or 60 yards. Like I just got a good feeling. It might not be for a touchdown, but I could see a 50 or 60 yard reception from Devonte Parker in this game. And I don't know. I'm hopping on the Tua train. Okay. It's going to be great.
I get wanting to stay away from like new situations, and Tua brings a new situation. He's a much different quarterback than what Fitzmagic is. But Tua is my favorite quarterback coming out of college. He's a very, very good quarterback. I think he'll do great at the NFL level. Maybe not in his first game, but I think he's going to be fine. Devontae is a good enough wide receiver that they're going to be just fine for this week.
Tua is the type of guy that can be electric in his first NFL action ever. Like, he can come out and just tear it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's a rough defense. I get it, but Tua's a rough dude.
Yes, he is.
Love.
All right, my love for the week. And honestly, Zach, I had troubles with this one because I was thinking, and I stayed with the same team. I was looking at Cincinnati, and I had to think, man, Joe Burrow is throwing the ball 50 times a game. And he's starting to spread it out, but it's still like 10 receptions, 10 targets for every one of his receivers that are happening. So like T. Higgins getting 10 targets in a game. AJ Green, he's starting to get 10, 13 targets in games. Tyler Boyd getting 8 targets, but he's catching all 8 of them. He's like hyper efficient like he always has been. And that's what I stuck with. The guy who's been hyper efficient with his targets. Tyler Boyd, catching every pass coming his way, has a lot of connection with Joe Burrow there. Add those touchdowns in, he's having wide receiver 1 weeks. Without the touchdowns, he's still a solid wide receiver 2. I like the floor with Boyd, and I love the ceiling with him. So I chose him over a player like Higgins or AJ Green against Tennessee, who's just been god awful against the wide receivers. I think the last 2 weeks they've allowed 40 points to wide receiver, or last 2 played weeks they've allowed 40 points to wide receivers altogether. So it's all day long. Tyler Boyd. If you don't have Tyler Boyd, you have T. Higgins. Play him. I'm happy with it. You got AJ Green. You're like, you know what? He's starting to see some targets. Play him. I'm into AJ Green. I like all 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. If you want, we can just jump into my love right away because it is AJ Green. For the same reasons, basically. Tennessee's defense is terrible. AJ Green is seeing his target share go way up, and I think he's still kind of got it. You know, he looked really, really lazy and bad for the first few weeks.
He did,
right? Yeah, like he didn't want to play.
Attitude.
But I don't know if him and Burrow just became best buddies or what, or they started to trust each other more, but whatever it is, keep it going because he's looking awesome right now. So I'm staying to the Flames.
Yeah. Burrow must have sent him like a tin of like cheddar popcorn or something to his house. That made me happy.
Just a nice fruit basket. Yeah.
Yeah. For any of the fans out there, BroMob, if you ever want to send me some gifts, some cheddar popcorn tins. All And now that I'm seeing the hates, man, you and I, look at us, we're geniuses. I'm gonna get right into this. Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills wide receiver going against New England. And it's for every reason that you can think. I mean, Diggs has been a target machine as well, right? I mean, he's getting targeted pretty much overly excessively in games when he shouldn't be. He's getting targeted by Josh Allen. But it doesn't mean that he can be extremely efficient with those. New England's been decent. Like, they haven't been their top 5 defense that they were last year, but they've been able to shut down some really highly explosive offensives this year. And they've been good against terrible offenses as well. So I'm not feeling Diggs this week, especially, I mean, Gilmore happy is not going to make me happy. Okay. Mm-hmm. I just don't want any part of it. I don't like Diggs. I don't need to say anymore. I just don't like him. I don't need any analysis behind it. Okay. It's a gut feeling. I don't like Diggs.
Yeah, just feel it in your gut. Yeah, and we were laughing before because I had Diggs as my hate too, for exactly the same reasons. Allen hasn't looked very good the last couple of weeks. Diggs is feeling the repercussions of that. I think John Brown really does help that offense quite a bit. He draws a lot of that pressure off of Diggs, gives Allen another great receiver to throw to. I'm not saying the other receivers aren't great. Gabriel Davis has been awesome, and Beasley has been pretty awesome too. But for whatever reason, they haven't looked great. They just played the Jets. How do you not absolutely torch the Jets through the air? But yeah, I just stay away from Diggs.
Please stay away for the love of God. All right, tight ends.
Love.
Bryan.
No, God, please, no.
It's the worst. Yep. Jimmy Graham versus New Orleans. No! It's the Bears. I hate them. They're the worst. Offense is terrible. Matt Nagy doesn't know how to call plays that are successful. Nick Foles knows this, continues on with the play. Jimmy Graham, minimum targets. Bryan, the only thing I like about this is that New Orleans, I think, is one of the worst defenses in the league against tight ends or something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking of that backwards. Maybe they're the best against the league against tight ends. I don't know. Either way, I don't like Jimmy Graham. He does. Bryan's the worst. I'm the best. That's the only thing to say about it.
Yep. I like it. Stay away from Bears, especially Jimmy Graham. I haven't liked him. I haven't liked Jimmy Graham for the past 3 years. So the analysis is out the door. Just get him out of my sight.
Yeah, very true.
Hate.
And here's one I can't wrap my head around again. And this one's the whole time I've been trying to be jokey, right? But this one I actually can't put my head around because TJ Hawkinson has been showing. TJ Hawkinson hit my mic. Has been extremely. Where was I going with this? He's been connecting. I can't even think right now because of Bryan's terribleness. He's been putting together a good connection with Matthew Stafford. Finally, he's getting touchdowns now in back-to-back games. Granted, it was the game-winning touchdown at the previous game, and he wasn't putting up too many points before then. But it doesn't matter. That's kind of what Hawkinson does. He gets open. He gets touchdowns in the red. He gets red zone looks. Kenny Golladay is definitely helping with that presence and that safety presence to take it off of Hawkinson. And it's opening up the middle of the field. It's allowing bigger plays to happen for him. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. I understand Indy has a tough defense. I get that. But pretty much the only thing that Detroit wants to do is throw the ball. That's why I feel like they're bringing in DeAndre Swift a little bit more in this offense because they want to throw the ball more. He's better in the passing game than Adrian Peterson is. You're seeing Kerryon Johnson out there on 2-minute drills because they want to pass the ball, of course. So I feel like the team is wanting to pass it more. Hawkinson's going to benefit from that. So Bryan, I understand you hate him, but I disagree with you. And quite frankly, I hate you. So I'm gonna move on. Zach, what do you feel about this?
Hawkinson's had 1 week with less than 9 points, I think, in a half PPR setting.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know how you. I'm sorry, 2 weeks under that. But he has been very, very consistent. Sure, he doesn't draw too many targets, I guess. But when he does, he's a very good tight end. I think Stafford's starting to get that real connection with him. I'm hoping anyways, because I really like Hawkinson. But yeah, I understand the Colts defense has been awesome, but I don't know. How do you not go with a consistent tight end?
No idea. When tight ends have been so inconsistent this year.
Yes. Yeah.
Talking about good tight ends, though.
Love.
Jonnu Smith, tight end for the Tennessee Titans, going against Cincinnati, who is just, they're terrible against tight ends. And Jonnu, I don't know if you know this, is a good tight end. He is good. He gets used he's not just used as your normal tight end. Like I see him routinely lined up at the backfield as a running back, and they're using him as running plays. Only other tight ends I usually see doing that are people like Travis Kelce and George Kittle. I'm not seeing other tight ends like Darren Waller get back in the backfield and run the ball like a running back. So Jonnu Smith's getting used creatively in this offense, in an offense that's extremely creative because of the help that Derrick Henry needs from defense to come and tackle him. They have to actually bring people to help tackle him. They have to bring people to the middle of the field, account for Derrick Henry in the backfield. And Jonnu's wide open because of that all the time. We're seeing the same thing happen for A.J. Brown in this offense, Corey Davis in this offense. Pretty much everybody who's catching passes in this offense is wide open, and it's because Derrick Henry's in the backfield. So I love Jonnu Smith, especially against the terrible Cincinnati Bengals defense.
My love for Jonnu Smith has been stated to the BroMob a couple of times, and this week is definitely no different. Cincinnati has not only been really bad against the tight ends, they've just been really bad on defense. Jonnu's a freak. Yeah, he's awesome.
Hate.
Tyler Higbee, Los Angeles Rams. I mean, he's coming off of injury, missed Monday Night Football. Gerald Everett stepped in, was serviceable, got a touchdown. Even the third string tight end Munt got in there and had some big, impressive plays. And that's kind of what you see as tight ends are getting used in this offense. And I say that with the plural sense. Tight ends. Gerald Everett's getting used. Tyler Higbee gets used. They get a lot of targets, but they're getting those targets split up between the both of them. Whenever one of them's injured, you see people like Gerald Everett get a touchdown and 40 yards receiving, 30 yards receiving, whatever it is, and gets a serviceable game. Gerald Everett's healthy. Higbee comes back. They're going against Miami, who's a pretty tough defense against tight ends, to be honest. This has been a better defense than advertised before the season as well, much like Carolina. But Higbee hasn't been consistent. He's been, pretty much bad. Other than that massive blow-up 3-touchdown week that he had in week 2, he's been pretty much bad from every single week there on out. So I'm sticking with the bad. I hate him. I'm not starting him. I'm trying to get away from him. Maybe I'm showing my cards a bit in our league of record here. I'm trying to get away from him. So Zach, if you want to come at me with some tight end trades,
I'm all right. I'm all right with George Kittle. I'll keep that.
Okay.
But do you think, and again, this is kind of showing your cards a little bit, but not meant to. Do you think he's droppable? I don't think I would have a problem with dropping him, even in a format where you have to start a tight end. I'm cool dropping him, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost dropped him for Gerald Everett because I had him in my lineup. Knew he was injured, was hoping he would play. But then I saw the injury, picked up Gerald Everett. I think I dropped a kicker, which I don't know why I had on my roster anyway. I think it was because it was Hot Rod, and I love his nickname.
Hot Rod.
He was on my team. He's the best. But I almost dropped Higbee for Everett in that game.
Love.
My love for tight ends this week is Darren Waller against the Browns. We just saw the Browns get absolutely torched by the Bengals. And Waller has been an absolute target monster. Carr's actually been very, very good about spreading the ball around and getting good targets to his receivers. And Waller has been his main guy for the past 2 years now. I faded him coming into the year because I thought he was a one-hit wonder, like a Gary Barnidge type of guy. But Waller has been very awesome, and he's looking like he hasn't lost a step with Carr since last year. I love him this week. I love him for the rest of the season too. You like that poll?
Yeah. I love that poll.
I had the barnyard on my team when you had a big old year.
Yeah, a list of one-year wonders from Cleveland are always Gary Barnidge, Peyton Barber, not Peyton Barber, Peyton Hillis, and just so many more. Derek Anderson, Braylon Edwards, like it's all these just one-hit wonders out of Cleveland all the damn time. So Gary Barnidge, wow. Darren Waller, way better than Gary Barnidge.
Way better than Gary Barnidge. I'm sorry I compared to him at the start of the season. What a mistake.
Apology not accepted.
Hate.
My hate for this week, and I think I actually have a real problem with the Chargers because I always find myself hating them for whatever reason.
Me too.
Yeah, right. Except I do love Justin Herbert, so I'll stay with that.
People he passes to, right? Like I feel like I hate all the people he passes to, yet the guy's putting up 40-point weeks on a weekly basis. It seems like who's getting the points?
I don't know. It's a mystery. Mike Williams is going to get all of the points, I guess. That's the only person that I'd be okay with in this offense so far. Keenan Allen has been good too. Yeah, right. Keenan Allen has been good too this year. Anyways, Hunter Henry against Denver. Denver's D has been pretty good, but that's not why I would fade Hunter Henry. It's because he hasn't really shown too much rapport with Justin Herbert. I think Herbert is a wide receiver type of quarterback. He targets them like crazy and gives his running back some targets, but hasn't really given Hunter Henry too much. And what he has given him, he really hasn't done too much with. I'm perfectly okay with fading him pretty far this week.
Oh yeah. I'm moving on from him this week too. I have him in a couple leagues, and there's no way I'm playing him. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So, all right. That is going to be it for our love and hates. Zach, let's get right into our streamers for the week.
This week's streamers.
All right. Bryan's the howling werewolf for the win.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What did you think? With the wolf?
I just thought it was a wolf. I was like, why is that? What does that have to do with Halloween? Werewolf did not enter my mind. I don't know, Chad. It's late. It's like 8:40.
Yeah, it's 8:40. We're way too old to be up this late.
Come on, man. I'm almost 30. I'm in bed by now.
By New Glarus. Sponsored. Not sponsored.
Oh, really? Oh,
I'm just drinking.
Yes. And
wrong.
My plastic cup too.
Nice, tasty plastic cup for the win.
Yes.
Bryan, your ghostness. Where are you? Where are you, Mr. Ghost Bryan? Let me find you real quick. Oh,
Bryan?
Oh, there you are. Found you. Bryan, for streamers, you got you're terrible. All right. Let me just go through these, I guess. Quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. He's managed in 62% of leagues. But most teams already have him. Great pick for a stream. But let's see. Maybe you're in one of those leagues with 38% math that don't have him on a roster. I know I'm good. Teddy Bridgewater is a serviceable stream. He's going against Atlanta. This whole team has been terrible, much like Dallas has been, especially in the passing game. They've been really bad. And Bryan is still staring at us. He's a Mr. Ghost right there in front of our faces. Teddy Bridgewater, I do like that. I would stream him too. If I have him, I would play him. If you have Kyler Murray on bye, you got Teddy Bridgewater on your bench, put him in there. Easy plug. Defensive Chargers defense. What am I saying right now? Chargers defense going against Denver. Drew Lock has not been the savior that the Denver Broncos were hoping for. And that's unfortunate because I have a lot of shares. A lot of shares of him in multiple leagues. Why not, right? It's a dart throw at a wall.
Oh, sure.
That had Cortland Sutton, that had Jerry Jeudy, that had KJ Hamler. Deshaun Hamilton was there still. Tim Patrick is on the offense as well. Noah Fant there. Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay. How are you bad? How are you bad? Well, you're Drew Lock. You become Drew Lock. So that's what happened. And the Chargers, we're actually pretty good at getting to the quarterback, and I don't know if you know this, but sacks count for points in fantasy. Chargers should get a lot of sacks in this game. I like them too. As a matter of fact, I have them for one of my streams, so I'll just skip right into that. They are on 46.5% of rosters in ESPN. I like the Chargers. Bryan, this is, quite frankly, it's the only good pick you've had for the entire show. It's the only one, and it just so happens to be the same one that I have. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if he figured it out, Zach, if he's just, maybe he looked at my notes before the show and he's like, Chad's smart. I'm going to go ahead and pick that.
He ghosted right in and took him from you. Well, he did say David Montgomery earlier, though, as a hate, so he was right on that. Gotta give him that.
So. Again, but my notes. I had notes up there saying to fade all Chicago Bears. So I think he's just listening. He's just looking at my notes and thinking that he's smart. In reality, Mr. Ghost
Get
Bryan,
out of here, Ghost Bryan.
He's about to fade away or mystify away. Woo! And he's gone. Quarterback stream, a real stream. Here's an actual stream. Jimmy Garoppolo, very available. He's only on 24.8% of rosters in ESPN right now. So he's on the waivers. You can pick him up pretty simply. And he's going against Seattle, who, by the way, they can't stop a quarterback from passing on them if it was me throwing against them. Like, maybe they can stop me. I don't know. I'm not good. I'm all of 5'5", 5'6". I'm not tall at all.
Kyler Murray can do it. You're all right.
Very, very short. Not fast. I got a beer belly. I don't know. It's not going to look pretty. But Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look real pretty, like he normally does. He's a pretty looking dude. Good looking guy. And that's the only reason I'm choosing him. No. This defense is terrible. Jimmy Garoppolo, though he just lost Debo, he still has the best tight end in football. They're a carousel at running back, but it doesn't matter. It seems like he's going to be able to connect with whatever running back is back there for passes. Ayuk has been phenomenal as a rookie for them. I mean, he's not getting used a ton, but when he does get used, he's making big plays. He looks like a clone of Debo, to be honest. They're using him in exactly the same way. And sweep arounds, and deep passes in the running game. So, I mean, screen passes. I like what I see out of Ayuk, and he should have a good week. I can't breathe right now. And Jimmy Garoppolo's gonna have a great week too. So, Zach, who you got at quarterback?
Is Debo out this week?
It sounded like he's going to be. So he's got an injury, and it might even be of the multiple week variety, is what I'm reading.
Okay, and that might be the only knock against Jimmy, but like you said, it's their defense. The Seattle's defense is just terrible, and he's still got huge weapons in Ayuk and George Kittle. You roll Jimmy. That's perfectly good stream.
And
nice job.
It helps that you play against Russ, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Touchdowns.
Yeah.
And going nuts. So.
Yes, you'll have to throw. For my streams of the week, at quarterback, I got my homer here, Kirk Cousins versus the Packers. He's owned in just 19% of leagues. I know you can go ahead and say your rule before I go on.
Let me mention my rule, BroMob. I've said Kirk Cousins' names a grand total of 2 times, and I will never say it again. It is a rule of mine to never vote for Kirk Cousins going forward. He has done me wrong twice. Shame me once, full on you. Shame me twice, full on me. What am I even saying? I'm not even saying it correctly. I don't care.
No, you got it. But I'm saying it now. Kirk is gonna be fine this week.
I said it backwards. I said
you did, yeah.
Full on me.
It's fine. It's late. No, I think Kirk is going to have a good week. In week 1 against the Packers, or week 1, it was week 1. He did just fine. I think he had 3 touchdowns, 300-ish yards. I can't remember exactly. And he's actually been serviceable for fantasy. Like it's not pretty if you watch the games. I would highly recommend not watching them. But he gets a lot of garbage time for whatever reason, it's the classic Matt Stafford treatment. Get just 20 points in the fourth quarter and call it good. But he's going to have to throw against them. Rodgers is going to tear them apart. The only way they have, I'm not even going to say any chance. It's like below a 5% chance of them winning. I'm pretty willing to say. But he's going to have to throw the ball a lot. So I'm cool streaming him.
Is Dalvin Cook back? Do we know if he's back?
He might be. I don't know if it's been announced if he is back or not, but I think he has a chance.
It's the only thing that would change my opinion of how the game would turn.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's health. I understand he was healthy week 1, but I feel like the team has changed a bit since then. Maybe not defensively. They're still terrible. But at least offensively, Justin Jefferson has erupted. So Adam Thielen, I think, is the number 1 ranked wide receiver by Pro Football Focus in the league right now. He's absolutely balling out. So there's a chance if Dalvin's there.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. For my
a lot of sadness.
Yeah. Yeah. It could happen. Why not? It's not 0%, so we'll roll with that.
True.
Yeah, and here's where my hypocritical statement comes in from earlier. My defensive streamer of the week is the Lions. They're owned in 2% of the leagues. They're facing the Colts this week. And this honestly is the defensive streams this week are not pretty. Like there's not a lot of options, I feel like. It's weird.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Literally that are on rosters already that have good this week.
Yeah. Yeah. We can just leave it at that. But this comes out of just pure hatred for Phillip Rivers. I've mentioned it on here before. I'm not at all a fan of him. He has a legit chance of having multiple turnovers, even against this average defense. I think they've had like 3 weeks where they haven't been good, but then the other weeks they've been okay. So I think this could be an okay week.
Could be. Maybe not.
Just yeah. My streamers are just
yeah. Old Man Rivers, I mean, he's getting tired from all the 9 kids that he's trying to raise. So it's bound to just turn into terrible football play, which is what we've seen from him. It's like he's a master at trying to lose games for this team. So interceptions galore. Lions could get interceptions. Okuda's been okay at the rookie corner there. So, I mean, he could come away with an interception. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, he probably will try to get one.
Yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, exactly. All right, BroMob. That is going to be it for this week's show. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday. That is Wednesdays, to stay up to date on the fantasy football world and to gather any insights on how to dominate your fantasy football league. Zach, I want to thank you for joining the show. You got to be a regular now since Bryan's terrible. You clearly have better takes than this guy. He's coming. Oh no! The ghost is back. The ghost of Bryan here is trying to stop us
like him.
Talking bad about him. I'm just going like this. Gone. Blew him away. It's a speck of dust that he is. He's terrible. So thank you again, Zach, for joining the show. It's been a pleasure having you on. BroMob, if you're not listening to us on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. If you're not watching us, it's a great time. We've got Bat Keanu right above me here, flying all over the place. It's lots of spookiness going on. We got bats. We got pumpkins. It's a good time. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't been using these. The show. It's a good time. I'm gonna leave the bats up for the rest of it.
Ooh.
If you're not on YouTube though, you got to check us out. If you are listening to us on YouTube, maybe you want to listen to us on your commutes or an Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, every single major podcast station out there. I gotta get these bats off the screen. They're starting to attack my face. That's where we are. Be sure to subscribe so that you get those hefty. Jesus.
Hefty.
That's the word. Helpful notifications letting you know when the episodes are dropping. This has been a crapshoot of an episode for me. If you know when those episodes are dropping and you're the first one to get those listens in and get those listens in before your friends do, those guys that maybe aren't listening, they're losing. They're all losers and they're not winning their leagues. We know a couple of those. So be sure to not be one of those guys and be one of the winners and get notifications by subscribing. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Bros Podcast. And be sure to check out our website, thefantasyfootballbros.com, for all kinds of news, articles, so much more. We'll see you next week, BroMob.
Bye.